start our session. Welcome to the first PALMS session of this year. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm Steve Helm. I'm the former CEC medical director. I'm faculty at WVSOM anymore, but I'm thrilled to be back. And I'm particularly thrilled to see the numbers increase for this program. We had about 25 graduate last year, and to have almost 3 times that many students participating this year is excellent. I think you'll find it an enjoyable couple of hours outside of your study time. We appreciate your time, though. I know it's very tight. I want to introduce some core people that will be involved in the PALMS program for each of the 4 sessions. Outside of myself, Dr. Dwight Bundy, the Regional Assistant Dean for this region here, serving Southeastern region, has taken it upon himself to help out and actually be a part of this program. Today's sessions include 2 speakers that are our guests today, and I'd like to introduce both of them now. The first speaker is Jim Anderson. Jim is an executive and CEO coach for many years. He heads up and is involved with the Greenbrier Leadership Institute. And Jim and I and Dr. Canfield last year essentially designed this program to bring his knowledge and theories of coaching executives and leaders to the healthcare field. So we brought the medical piece to the whole concept. And it worked out I think, very successfully last year, and this year we're going to push it a little further. So Jim Anderson will start out our evening, and then we'll take a little 5-minute break midway in about probably 60 minutes or so. And our second speaker will be a colleague and friend of mine, Kevin Haggerty. Kevin is from Greensboro, North Carolina, and he is a psychologist that has coached many leaders, physician leaders, as well as business leaders, having worked many years for FAR Associates in Greensboro. So with no further delays, I'm going to go ahead and turn over the program to Jim Anderson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Holm. We're going to begin with a question. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to think about it, and I'm going to survey a few of your responses. There are no wrong answers, and a lot of times it's opinion, and that's fine. So the question is this: why would we offer a program in leadership in medical school? What do leadership skills have to do with the healing arts? How would that have value for a physician? Go ahead and think about that, and I'm going to survey a few of you. Take a moment, please. Now, I know Lindsay was hoping I'd forget her name. I didn't. So, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, I think that a strong leader is very involved in a community, and as physicians, we become integrated into the community, whether we like it or not, because everybody in the area is going to be coming to us and looking to us for help, and being a strong leader can help influence their healing through that process by guiding them along the way. It's not just doing it, it's showing them something.
Sounds like you're talking about a role, a leadership role. Okay. I'm real curious what Walter will have to say about this. Walter's been around a little bit, and he's got some experience. And I would like to know, Walter, why would you think we should be offering a course in leadership in medical school?
Well, Lindsay touched on one of them, and that's in the community, but I also believe that there's a leadership role that doctors serve in a hospital or a clinical setting. A lot of times you have they call it a healthcare alliance team. Yep. So you have, you have nurses, you have physician assistants, you have nurse practitioners, you have the lab guys that starting to get really irate a lot of times at doctors that perform unnecessary tests, I think. Anyway, so you're going to serve in a leadership position, and especially in critical care and emergency situation, you're going to have different aspects of leadership.
Right. Very good. Very good. TJ, did you want to add anything to that, or did that pretty much cover it?
That pretty much covered mine too.
Okay. Well, that platform right there is what we're going to build on. All right? Now, I'm going to be asking you a number of questions this evening, and I'm going to want your opinions, just like we're offering here so far. My experience in doing this kind of work for 35 years with my business, 45 total, believe it or not, is that when I lead programs, I find that the people in the programs learn more from one another than they'll learn from me. All right? And I'm not slighting myself. I'm just saying that a lot of the learning that's going to go on here will be from your peers and colleagues, as well as the professionals that will lead these programs. So let's look at what we put together here for you very briefly, and the development of this program. Now, there are at least 4 streams of information that have come in here. One has to do from physicians here at WVSOM, like Dr. Holm and Dr. Bundy and Dr. Morrow. And the reason that we involve them is because they're physicians. I'm not a physician. I am a person who's worked with physicians for 45 years, but I'm not a physician. Because we have physicians involved in the fine-tuning and calibration of this program, we're pretty confident it will have specific skills that will be germane just to your path. Another source of information for this program is we have business leaders involved, people who've, worked in executive capacities. My experience is I have indeed coached and worked with a number of CEOs over the years, and entry-level professionals all the way up. I have learned more from them than they have learned from me. But everything that I've learned over the years has taught me very critically, without a doubt, leadership is one of the best, if not the best, door for opportunity for you. I've published a few books in my life. This one right here on principle-based leadership was published a couple years ago. It distills everything that we'll be addressing here this evening and more. This is not something I recommend you go out and purchase for entertainment or for something you'd want to do after dinner, unless you're having problems sleeping. This is a textbook, okay? But the reason I point it out to you is because everything that we're going to cover here pertains not only to executives, but to professionals in all fields. Now, a third stream for development of this program is the Greenbrier Leadership Institute. I'm going to digress on that just for a moment, because it's near to my heart. Have any of you ever heard of the Greenbrier Military School? Show of hands. Okay, wow, I'm impressed. Where was the Greenbrier Military School?
Here.
Yes. 54 years ago, yes, I was here in this auditorium. It was one auditorium then. And I was a student, and ironically back then I was asked to address the rest of the student body on any topic I wanted, okay? I picked leadership. One of the faculty members there encouraged me, changed the path of my life, so that is what I spent my life involved in, developing, coaching, educating leaders. Now, the Greenbrier Leadership Institute was formed by alumni of the Greenbrier Military School. A lot of old senior guys like me got together about 9 years ago and said, You know, we'd like to give something to the community. We'd like to give something to West Virginia more than a scholarship. Yes, they do raise funds for scholarships. But we realized we could impact lives much better if we could help young men and women learn how to lead. There is nothing that will give you a better opportunity in your life than if you learn how to lead well. It's going to apply to your role as a physician. It's going to apply to your role as a parent, as an important part of your community. Nothing will exceed that opportunity. The Greenbrier Military School was actually formed as the Lewisburg Academy by Dr. John McElhenney in 1812, and it evolved over many years into the Greenbrier Military School, and it was housed here. The fourth stream is the knowledge gleaned in last year's program. We learned a lot in last year's pilot program. We came in, we had some concepts we thought would have value, but we learned because of folks like Gerald and Gina and others who came and were involved in that pilot, and we were able to calibrate the kind of information we're putting together that goes into this program tonight. And we are, I know they and us are delighted to see this kind of turnout, so we're not going to let you down. A couple more things before we get into the work we're going to be doing. As you know, there are 4 sessions. Tonight we're going to be addressing leadership. Now, we're going to address leadership conceptually, but we're also going to address it practically, okay? Now, what I mean by conceptual is you're going to get some concepts and some theory that relate to effective leadership. But we're also going to begin tonight practically by giving you an exercise that will help you target your priority on developing your leadership. And as you have that focus in subsequent this evening and in other programs, you're going to be drawing skills and information that are going to allow you to do that. If it has no application, it has no value. So we're going to focus very much on application. Session number 2 next month will have to do with specific communication skills. Obviously, in leadership context, if you can't communicate well, you're not going to be able to lead. So communication will be very critical. The 3rd session, I believe about a month and a half, 2 months out, has to do with leadership styles. Capitalizing on what your strengths are now, but also flexing and building on them. And then the 4th session, I'm pretty excited about it. Dr. Holm described a process to me that is really taking us to a whole new level in practical application. And that 4th session will be addressing that. Let's talk about the medical school challenge a little bit, all right? It's not just an academic challenge. A lot of folks come here with good academic skills, and they might not do very well. Don't let that scare you. A lot of them were stars undergrad, and then they come to medical school, and then they get their first test, or their first review of their work, and they go, oh my God, what happened? Okay. Well, recognize that medical school, there are a number of things that are going on, and you're going to have to handle every one of them well if you're going to get the most value and really do your best at medical school. To begin with, academic, yes, but there's a mental challenge. There is definitely a mental challenge. Drew, you thought I forgot your name. If you were to go home now and talk with your friends about what you've experienced so far, and they said, well, how's it going? If you were going to address the mental side of it, what would you tell your friends other than the academic side? What's part of the challenge here?
Just finding ways to tackle the amount of information that you get every day.
It's like a tidal wave. Well, that one actually relates to organization on the right side of the graph up there. Okay? There's a mental challenge. Who can tell me what the mental challenge is of medical school? Anybody? Yes, sir.
Resilience?
Beg your pardon?
Resilience.
Yeah, recovery, resilience. Recover when you get that test score back. Okay? Look at that, and you recover, and then you got to be resilient. I believe your name is Chris. Okay, good response, Chris. All right, so part of it is attitude. In fact, a very big part of it is attitude. All right, so now we have academic, we have organization and planning, we have mental, we have physical. Heidi, why would we put a focus on the physical side of you being a student? What would you guess we're talking about when we care about the physical side?
Maintaining a balanced lifestyle, so still implementing, healthy eating, exercise, adequate sleep, which is very easy to give up when your priorities.
Yes, exactly right. It's critical. You better be fit and healthy, because if you're not, it's going to really tear you down. You've got to stay healthy and strong. Part of that, by the way, is knowing how to handle the stress of medical school. Now, later this evening, after my section, we're going to take a look at stress and how critical it is for you to be able to manage the stresses of medical school. Part of that, of course, is what you're eating and your exercise, but there's a lot more to it than that, and we're going to take a look at that. Another consideration we have is strategic, and what we mean by strategic is thinking ahead, planning ahead, being ready, not only for preparing projects, academic tests, or whatever, but also think about where you're going with this program, ultimately what you want to do. Renee, I will pick on you. She was thinking, oh, he forgot my name. He's not making eye contact with me. I'm safe. Okay, Renee, what are you hoping to do beyond medical school? When you finish, what do you envision your practice or your involvement being down the road?
I just envision having a good impact on the community, doing whatever specialty I go into, do it well, and work well with other people.
Okay. Walter, why do I want her envisioning that in the future? Why would I want her to keep thinking about that?
So that she can strategically plan ahead, because there are things that she's going to have to do for whatever specialty that she chooses. So, and things that will perhaps facilitate the path that she wants to take.
Yeah, and that helps set her priorities now. There's another reason that we want her to envision a positive future like that. Why else would we want her to envision a positive future? Yes?
Motivation.
Yes, absolutely. Motivation. I can't resist it. I have to digress on that one just for a minute. I've had a lot of organizations over the years come to me and say, hey, we heard you're a motivational speaker. No, I'm not. No, I am not. You cannot motivate people. And I'm willing to debate that with anybody. Initiative and the desire to do something comes from within. And it stems from what's going on in your mind. I can't motivate you. What I can do is help you visualize the future and help you lay out a path to get there, and then just encourage and keep you focused, okay? But you will be the ones to do that. Finally, the sixth segment of this is leadership. We're going to focus on that over the next few minutes, and we're going to take a look at how that actually fits together. But obviously, we know it's very important to you. All right, now I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to survey you. What is leadership? What is leadership? You know, we're throwing that term around pretty loosely here tonight. What is leadership? Yes, ma'am. I didn't get your name earlier. What is it?
Tara.
No, to your right. You thought you were off the hook. What's your name?
Kathy.
Kathy. That's the name of my wife. That's going to be easy to remember. Now I got your name. All right. Kathy, what is leadership?
Being able to, I guess, keep yourself as well as set up other people driven and on a path to accomplish a common goal, that's it.
All right. There's nothing wrong with that answer. Let's pull out a lot more. I'm dropping. I asked you earlier, didn't I? Yes. Did I get your name?
No.
Good. I thought I was losing it. What's your name?
Devin.
Kevin?
Devin.
Steven? Kevin? With a D? All right, third try. Finally got it. Hey, Devin, come on, man. What's leadership?
I think leadership is helping keep people, like a group of people on track towards, like you said, towards a goal, and keeping them motivated and keeping them responsible for what they need to be doing.
Okay. Okay. Your name? Yeah.
Monique.
What is it?
Monique.
Monique. Okay. Monique, what is leadership?
I mean, basically everything they did.
Oh, that's it. Okay. All right. Nita? Is it Nita?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they did mention some things, but it's also important that as a leader, you also are an effective leader. You're not just taking on a position by just, having a title and not doing anything. So making sure that you're also responsible for the task that you're taking on.
All right. In a moment, I'm going to give you a definition. But before I do it, I wanted to put this slide up because I forgot to do it. The PALMS program will increase your value in medical school, impact in organizations, long-term value for parents, lifelong endeavors, because it focused on the essence of what leadership really is. To begin with, it is nothing more and nothing less than influence. What's your name? Anna. If Anna's going to lead me, okay, what she must do is have influence on me, and that's different than directing. Now, we can go ahead and pass out the notes. How long have you been holding that up? Like 10 minutes or what?
Say 5.
Just 5? Okay. We're passing around the notes page because we're going to have you take some notes because we're actually we're going to kind of informally quiz you on it later. We want you to stay on track. All right. So as you get this page,